Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to another installment of Poke Fodder. If you tuned in yesterday, you noticed that I pulled a Ryhperior. And while Ryhperior was not one of the ones from the headlining booster going on right now that I was super interested in, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't at least feature him. So that is what I want to do today. First, and I know this is right on, this isn't Ryhperior. I know. But let's get into this. So we're going to go into the menu, figures, and where is Ryhperior? So as you can see, he's the third evolution of Rhyhorn to Rhydon to Ryhperior. And he's an interesting character. If we're looking at his wheel, first of all, he's a ground and rock type. So if we do have a fire and ground gym coming up, and if we do, my guess is on the 5th. The reason being is that the orange boosters expire on the 4th, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it would make sense that they're letting you accumulate and build up your fire and ground Pokemon for a week and then release the cup. That's my speculation. I could be wrong. I don't have any inside knowledge. Nonetheless, we have a ground and rock type here who has Rock Wrecker, which knocks out one of your opponent's flying type Pokemon within 2 steps. When using Long Barrel Plate, knock out one of your opponent's fire, ice, flying, or bug type Pokemon that are 2 or 3 steps away. This is good and bad. In my very, very limited experience with using Ryhperior, and I've only used him a couple times just to kind of get a feel for him, if you land your purple and there is not, and you don't have the plate, and there's not a flying type within 2 steps, it's just a nothing move. I don't really like that. I'm just going to be honest. Especially with a few birds in the meta. You've got the Zapdos Moltres, so it could come in handy in the gym with Moltres and Ho-Oh running around. But just in normal league play, it's kind of a nothing purple in my opinion. And then if you move on, this Bulldozer Blue might be the best blue in the game, simply because blue always wins, unless it's a tie. And it knocks the battle opponent back 1 step, and then you claim that spot. So it's kind of like Drive Kick on Infernape, except you move with it, which can allow for some great attacking of the opponent's goal and jumping into their spot. And finally, we have a 100 wide attack that spins, so you're going to do 100 damage every time you land on this. Now, I will say, because of the size of your Rock Blast here, hitting it more than once is probably not going to happen very often. My guess is that you will hit this probably 1 time way more often than you'll hit it multiple times. My other concern with this Pokemon is his wheel is unless you are at level 5, is very susceptible to being confused, which is not good at all given the current meta of Reuniclus running around. So if you can get this guy up to level 5 and eliminate one of those misses, I think that's great. And if I were going to be pumping up this Pokemon, leveling him up, honestly, I think I'd go with Bulldozer. 100 is great. I just don't think you're going to land on it multiple times, often enough to really have a huge difference. And the Bulldozer is always going to win. So 100 spinning once isn't necessarily always going to win. Rock Wrecker is just a little too niche for my taste to level up. So if I'm leveling this up, I'm actually going to go with Bulldozer. All that being said, I do not have this long barrel plate. I do have enough gems. They're giving gems away like crazy right now. And so for this, holy cow, 72. Choose one of your Ryhperior on the field or bench. Till the end of the duel, the effects of Ryhperior's Rock Wrecker. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and purchase that. All right. let me go in now that I have that and set up my plates. You know what? I'm going to actually ditch my gold block. We will put long barrel in there. And then well, let's go with another double chance. Seems as good as anything else. So there we go. I'm gonna run. Oh, minute 42. I'm gonna make you guys wait on this booster, but I'm actually gonna run Rhydon for this first one. The reason being, he can evolve off of his purple move, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I want to double check, I believe it's a 2-star purple move. So that should give us a fairly good chance, especially with some double chance plates, to evolve him. So I'm going to try it here. Looks like we have some pretty good candidates to try to evolve off of. Oh no, it's just a 1. Okay. Since we are going first, we're just going to drop Mew. And he wants to come out with Shuppet, which is fine. We're going to close that off in my turn. So Rhydon only has 1 MP, and this isn't necessarily a Rhydon video, but what will happen is he's 1 MP at the beginning, but once you're on the field, he can move 2 MPs based on going in a straight line. And I definitely want to show you guys these moves and what these Pokemon are capable of, but I also have to kind of play the game sort of realistically, because if I just run him out and he gets smashed and then I lose, that really doesn't do anything. So I'm going to play this as realistic as possible, but what I'll do is, when given a situation where maybe Rhydon or Ryhperior wouldn't have been my first choice, I'll go ahead and use him if I think it's not going to completely put me in danger of losing the game right away. So what I was saying is, Rhydon is a 1 MP, but as you can see, he can actually move 2 because he's going in a straight line. So I'm going to take advantage of that. And that's not going to be a great matchup for us right there. Although, yeah, it's just not a great matchup. So what we're going to do is we'll just go ahead and bring Metagross in. Let's see what happens here. He wants to go. Nice. Cool. Very, very okay with that. I'll actually press forward with Lugia. And then what I'm going to do is, wow, it'd be silly of me not to attack there. What does he have? And with no goal block, like, I think I kind of just have to press and force his hand here. I don't know. X attack, I guess, is going to be his best bet. I get the miss and he gets the dodge. So it's actually going to be a pretty easy victory. So there we go. We're definitely going to jump into another one though. And since that was such an easy game for us, we're going to go ahead and treat you right now by opening this booster. Torchic, Graveler, Ingot Common, and Cube Common. Okay, so nothing super exciting. Definitely like cubes. Okay, we're back for our second match of the video. And it looks like, okay, pretty decent little squad here. Lots of variety. A lot of things that you see commonly, and then things that you don't necessarily see. It's really interesting that I'm going against Lugia 2 games in a row when I typically don't see him at all in any of my games. So that's pretty interesting. You know what? I might have should have brought Lugia, speaking of, out right there, simply because he has Hurricane. Just like none of these are good matchups. Moltres creates so many mismatches with his 110. Let's go ahead and bring Rhydon out. I know it's not a great matchup. Maybe could have waited. What plates does he have? No hurdle jumps. So we're definitely going to throw Mew and his big gold piece right in Lucario's face. We'll drop Greninja back. And then might just leave Metagross on the field. Let's see what he wants to do here. He's got a few options. Definitely want to take this. If I can't evolve Rhydon in this game, I will jump back into one more and just as Ryhperior. This is pretty risky. Typically I would not do this particular move just in general, but let's see what we can do. And that's why attacking Lugia is risky. We will get another try at it, and we're not scared of him, so we're going to try this again. Unfortunately, I don't have another X attack, but I do have the Horn Drill. Nice. So we are going to get the evolution. I definitely want that. And now, Ryhperior is kind of a monster at 110 Rock Blast. Probably not going to roll it more than once. And at a 3-star purple, he's only going to lose to a 4-star purple, and my opponent has no options for rolling a 4-star purple. So if I roll purple, and in fact, he doesn't have any gold except for Metagross. Speaking of gold, very nice win there. And let's see what we want to do here. We want to press. Okay, I'm good with that. It's one of our better matchups. I could have pressed with Mew towards Dratini. Not a terrible matchup either. It's not a great matchup when maybe he'll roll his 80 and it'll be too high. Oh, but no. Okay, so I'm going to cap his entry point, which is going to force him to cover up his goal. And then what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do because I don't have. All right, I am going to take this opportunity to try this long barrel plate. And because I just picked it up, I'm going to have to look again to see which types it affects. Fire, ice, flying, and bug. So we have a couple flying and a fire. Okay. And is that dragon and flying? No, that's psychic and flying maybe. Bulldoze, nice. So what's going to happen is I'm going to push him back one, and I'm going to follow with. And we're going to double chance. And we're just going to march down the field and see how far we can take this. I'm not worried about his Hurricane unless I roll. No, knocking him out is good enough. Unless I rolled my white, which I did, but he did not. So there you go. Ryhperior has... Let me double check. I want to check this out. Okay, so he's Dragon and Psychic. So I can't affect him at all. I thought he might have been flying for some reason, but I knew he was Psychic, and then I knew he was Dragon, and there are no Tri-types. So maybe I didn't know anything. Wow. Okay, so my opponent is getting some super unfortunate spins at the moment, which is great for my video. It's not great for him at all. The Made Life. And we're going to double chance this again. And go right after Lucario. Neither. But I don't think this is going to do anything. So see, it was a nothing purple. I don't really like that. But what you going to do? So we're going to force his hand here a little bit. What plates does he have? Force remove, X attack, and double chance. So what I think I'm going to do here is I'm going to step Lugia in here. Although that, no, I'm not. I'm going to save that for a turn. And step Zapdos up there, so if something happens and my Lugia doesn't take him out, then I don't get surrounded. Hurricane's going to win and the push aside, which is going to force him to take that there. Oh, and he's going to go for the attack. And he's going to get the winning spin there. I'm going to go ahead and take this opportunity to cap that off and close off his entry point. Now I'm going to need to play a little bit of defense, and I'm not super mobile because I do have two 1 MP Pokemon and no like Poke Switch or Goal Block. But it is what it is. Looks like it's going to take me 1, 2, 3. It's going to take me at least 4 moves. Oh, wow. That is just bad luck for him. And I imagine at this point he's just going to forfeit, quite honestly. If he doesn't, I'll take Rhydon or Ryhperior all the way up here and then attack his goal. So hopefully I can show the Bulldoze capturing the entry point. I would imagine he's going to forfeit. He has to move 1 spot, and all he could do is just back and forth right there, which is just delaying the inevitable, really. And that's what he's going to do. So he's going to go ahead and forfeit. So there you go. That's my highlight of Ryhperior. Super happy that I was able to get that evolution and kind of show off almost all of his maneuvers. We got a white, we got the purple, we got the blue. So very successful day. We didn't get to test out the long barrel plate, but that's what happens sometimes. The jury's still out on Ryhperior in my book. Like I said, if he's not level 5, I'm not really going to work hard to get him into my roster. I don't even know that I'm going to really put a whole lot of resources into getting him to level 5 unless the meta changes and it becomes less geared towards dark and psychic type, which it's heavily dominated by right now. If the meta starts switching back over to flying or ice, then I definitely could see him having a role on my team. Let me know in the comments below, are you guys using him? Where have you found success with him? And let me know, what is the biggest spin that you've had off of him? I had, if you saw a video a couple days ago that I did with my removal deck, I think my opponent did 400 damage against me. I have heard of somebody doing 1,000 damage, but let me know, have you gotten higher than that? And if so, put it in the comments. Tell me what it was and send me a picture on Twitter if you got one. Also, just a little bit of housekeeping. I understand that the link that I put up for the Discord, people were having problems with. It wasn't really working. So if you look in the comments below, I will put a better link up. So that is going to do it for today's video. And until next time.